माननीय सदस्य प्लीज, माननीय सदस्य प्लीज बैठ जाए। माननीय सदस्य प्लीज, माननीय सदस्य प्लीज। आइटम नंबर 21 कंटिन्यूस श्रीमती कनिमोझी जी।
Sir, I rise to register some of the concerns we have about the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2019 in its present form. Yesterday, when the minister spoke here, he spoke very convincingly, and we were even convinced enough to believe that there's nothing for any state government to worry, because he's one, minister's not here, but still I'd like to say that he's one of the most humble ministers.
माननीय मंत्री जी यहाँ पर हैं।
No, I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that he's one of the most humble ministers, and many of us have to learn from him. And he was very convincing, and I think even when he spoke to all of us in the Rajya Sabha when we wanted the bill to be sent to the select committee, the way he negotiated with us and listened to us was admirable. But still, we have a lot of concerns about the bill, sir. After the bill was sent to the select committee and all of us made amendments, we had given suggestions and amendments to the bill. Nothing, not even one of the amendments have been carried out, and there has no change to the bill. It's brought back in the same form it was, without one single amendment which was carried out. So, the minister said that the power of the states will not be infringed upon, and if a state wants to opt out, it can. But this is a promise he has given in the floor of the House. Tomorrow, anything can happen in politics, anybody else can take his place, and the government can change. So, just a mere promise in the floor of the House is insufficient for us, for any state government to feel confident that the promise will be carried out and fulfilled. When you go back and read the bill, we can actually identify many places where the central government is taking over the rights of the state governments. So the central government already has under its control 3 modes of transports: the airways, seaways and railways. Now it wants to completely take over the road transport also. So before going into the state rights, I'd also like to talk about another concern. The bill provides that the central government will set the design, construction and maintenance standards, and it will also impose a penalty for non-compliance of the statute for us, for any state government to feel confident that the promise will be carried out and fulfilled. When you go back and read the bill, we can actually identify many places where the central government is taking over the rights of the state governments. So the central government already has under its control 3 modes of transports: the airways, seaways and railways. Now it wants to completely take over the road transport also. So before going into the state rights, I'd also like to talk about another concern. The bill provides that the central government will set the design, construction and maintenance standards, and it will also impose a penalty for non-compliance of the safety standards with a fine of up to 1 lakh rupees. It may be noted that in 2017-18, the NAHAI awarded 24 highway construction projects worth 20,000 crores, covering the length of 1,280 kilometers, which average comes to around 15,000 crores per kilometer. And the government wants to impose a fine of 1 lakh when the money awarded is 15 crores. What will a fine of 1 lakh actually mean to the contractor who is violating the rules? And one more, when I come to the state rights, there are many places where the state government's rights are being taken away. For an instance, where the central government says that it can levy and collect fees and taxes through any office, authority, body or agency owned and controlled by the central government in a particular manner. That will not be, is this not encroaching on the state government's rights? And they also say that the dealers will be collecting. Sir, you were not there, I was complimenting you. So the dealers will be collecting the registration fees. I'm sure it would have gone to his ears.
Account is online.
Yes, sir.
Directly it is deposited in the account of the state government, whatever the amount decided by the authority.
But through the dealer.
Not dealer.
The registration fees.
Directly whatever the consumer is going to pay, that will go directly in the account of the state government. Whatever the tax which is decided by the competent authority, on the basis of that, that is deposited. There is no right for dealer anything for any discretion.
Okay, thank you. And under the new sections in clause 91, the central government shall have the power to delegate any power or function that has been conferred upon it by the Act to any public servant, public authority, and it can authorize such public servants or public authority to discharge any of its powers, functions and duties under this Act. Is this not taking away the power of the state government? And also, sir, in the case of Tamil Nadu, in 1969, the Tamil Nadu government nationalized all the buses so that there's a last mile connectivity. The state government is not profitable and it is not a profit-making business, the Transport Corporation of Tamil Nadu. But it ensures and makes sure that there are buses to rural areas, to hilly areas where you cannot make a profit. And if the central government now interferes and brings in private players, this will completely ruin the state government policy and the state government's right to run these buses at the profitable centers, because the private players will be only interested in running their buses in the profitable centers. Sir, you've just made I just mentioned it, you've made a promise in the floor of the House, but it is not there in the bill. We want to see that being brought into the bill. These were the amendments we gave in the Select Committee, and none of these amendments have been carried out, and that is where the fear comes from. Sir, and the in the existing powers, the state governments can enter into an interstate agreement with the neighboring states. But now, the central government will be taking over this. Is this not interfering with the state government's authority? Sir, in his speech, the minister hailed the Tamil Nadu government for reducing the road accidents, and he even admitted he was large-hearted enough to say that even his department has failed, but the Tamil Nadu government has been able to reduce the number of accidents, and I think it cannot go to one particular government. It's been a long process over the years which has brought it to this level. So when already a state is running the department so well, why does the central government have to intervene and ruin what is already there and what we are already doing efficiently? Sir, and the Sundar Committee, it has said that road safety is very important and we need a scientific study of road infrastructure which includes effective road engineering solutions at the design stage and rectification of accident hotspots. So, nearly 789 black spots based on fatalities have been identified. I'd like to know how many of these have been rectified, and with only 315 crore for road safety allocated in the budget, how will this be possible? And the minister has said that dealers would be actually they will be the ones who will physically don't have to physically inspect the vehicles, and they will be giving out the certificates. And he also went on to explain that because of the state in which the RTO offices are and they are centers of corruption, the whole authority and the power have been shifted to the dealers. This is like throwing the baby away with the bathwater. Just because there are some officers and some offices which are corrupt, can we undermine the entire bureaucracy? Can we undermine the entire cadre, saying that it is entirely corrupt and we will take away the powers from them entirely and give it to private players? Is this the solution we should be looking at? And the minister also said that if you know to drive, it is enough. You don't need education qualifications to become a driver. I think at this day and age, this will not be a right way of looking at it, because we are looking at 100% literacy, trying to promote 100% literacy in this country. This saying you do not need any education qualification to become a driver will actually encourage many people to think that, okay, I don't have to go to school, I don't have to send my children to school. They can still find a driver's job somewhere. And education is important, sir, even if you want to become a driver. Because today we know the vehicles are more computerized. You need basic literacy and education to be able to operate these vehicles and to read the signs and to communicate with people. So I think the minister should reconsider that and take away the section which says education is not important, sir. And the minister made a lot of promises. Yes, we all accept and happy to accept that he's one of the ministers who runs his department very effectively and efficiently. But some of the promises are so tall and so big that it's like one of the many dreams which the BJP government or the Modi government has promised to people, and nothing has been fulfilled. I just like to finish with one quote by Tamarin Bennett in her poem Dream Merchants. The poem is not a line but a net, woven with strands, written in sand, carried away by the wind, a moment spun and then sent to sea. I hope the promises made by the minister will not be sent to sea and they will be fulfilled. Thank you.
श्री सोगत राय जी, माननीय सदस्य, आपकी पार्टी का समय 10 मिनट है और एक और माननीय सदस्य आपका बोलना चाहता है।
हाँ।
आपकी पार्टी का समय 10 मिनट आवंटन हुआ है।
हाँ।
बीएससी में, और आपकी पार्टी के एक सदस्य और बोलना चाहते हैं।
हाँ।
तो उनको भी नए सदस्यों को समय देना थोड़ा बहुत।
ठीक, नहीं हमारा और कोई नहीं बोलेगा।
कोई नहीं बोले?
नहीं बोले।
ठीक है,
मुझे आप जितना समय देंगे उतना ही। अरे रूडी जी को जो मिनिस्टर नहीं बनाया, ये तानाशाही नहीं है।
सोगत राय जी,
सर, I rise to speak on the